Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on.
So there was a little trending event. November 17th is an interesting day in the history of the fandom. It's Justice League release date. That was the original release date of Justice League in 2017, November 17th. Then the fandom took the date back in 2019 when the entire world was tweeting release a Snyder Cut, including Gal Gadot and Ben Affleck. That was a pretty huge day for the fandom. Little did most of us know, we didn't know behind the scenes, Zack Snyder was negotiating with AT&T to get the Snyder Cut released. We fast forward to today, the current time, November 17th, 2025. The state of Warner Brothers is in limbo. There will be a new owner of Warner Brothers. But we do know if a certain people get a hold of Warner Bros. Discovery, this could very well mean the return of the SnyderVerse, restoring the SnyderVerse, the Saudi connection. So this November 17th was an interesting time to make some noise for the fandom. At the end of the day, Zack Snyder posted a new look behind the scenes of BVS, Batfleck, one of my favorite moments in the film. BVS, first off, is my favorite CBM ever. I like other films. I can like other parts of other films, but just overall, this was the greatest CBM ever because it had the greatest third act ever that would never be matched in CBM history. You can count your Endgame, your Infinity War, BVS third act, because I start the third act really, it starts with the nightmare scene, right? And then when Bruce wakes up, he's ready to go fight, and it's Batman versus Superman. So you got the nightmare scene. This is the beginning of the third act. Batman versus Superman, the Batman warehouse scene, Wonder Woman entrance, the Trinity moment, versus Doomsday, and then you have the iconic death of Superman. This is all in the third act. This was on steroids. I couldn't believe in the theaters watching this film, and to this day, it is just the wildest viewing ever. So Zach drops this picture, so I'm always excited seeing anything with BVS, right? And then to cap off our trending day, that was pretty special. Zack Snyder is not stopping. he said more to come. He said this last week. He's like, oh, these pictures blowing up. I just wrapped the last photograph. Looking forward to that film. I'm sure it's going to be visually stunning. And Zack said more to come. And he drops this. Insane. Who knows how many other alternate angles, pictures that Zack Snyder has in his possession. Who's going to own the rights to DC? A lot of people are putting their stakes in different angles, different companies. It seemed like, 4 years ago, with me and the late great Mikey Sutton, over 4 years ago, we knew Warner Brothers would be for sale again, right? Now we're at this day. Early this year, I heard of the Saudis being interested, and we were waiting for them to express their interest in Warner Brothers and DC. We understand when we talk about the Saudi connection, we are talking about Turki Al-Sheikh. He's part of that Saudi group, the Public Investment Fund, which they have nearly $1 trillion. They want to get some influence into Hollywood. They want to bring some business to Saudi Arabia, just like they're doing with the WWE. This is global business, right? That's what this is. People are trying to twist this into weird angles, trying to make it a religious thing, trying to make it some kind of, no, this is business. Get used to global business. It's already happening, right? They're already doing deals. So this would just be another one that there would be, minority owners likely if they partner with someone. So this what brings Comcast into this conversation, because over 4 years ago, that was the report we heard. Comcast was very interested in Warner Brothers, and that Zaza, when he was ready to resell it, that Comcast would be a name. Paramount came on hard and strong recently because of David Ellison. They, of Skydance, they just absorbed Paramount. Now they were looking at Warner Bros. Discovery, and David Ellison kept lowballing for some reason. Brian Roberts says he got the bag. And I tell you, I had to redo this part of this video like 3 times because we've been getting reports in real time that Paramount has pulled a power move here. This is whoa. Let me kind of catch up, people. I was ready to do this whole video about Comcast getting the appropriate funding from the Saudi PIF team. That includes the Turkey Al Sheikh. That's the, when we say Saudi PIF, he's included because the Turkey Al Sheikh handles a lot of the entertainment portion of that funding, and they're doing a UFC film. And they did WWE deals and all that, right? It appeared that Brian Roberts, head of Comcast, went to Saudi Arabia to secure the funding to make an appropriate bid for Warner Bros. Discovery. Now it's coming off the presses that it looks like the Saudis are actually putting all the energy towards Paramount. This is interesting. Because I was ready to say Comcast was going to take the bag here, or have the bag and win this deal. But they just wanted parts of the company. Paramount wants everything. And the number to buy Warner Bros. Discovery has been floating around, and 70 billion is the number. Now David Ellison is saying he has 71 billion, and he has the Saudis and also other Arab investors putting up real billions to get this. This is beyond serious right now. David Ellison, Paramount Skydance, said to prep 71 billion Warner Bros. Discovery bid with 3 Arab sovereign wealth funds. Whoa. Is this checkmate? Is this checkmate? David Ellison's Paramount Skydance is said to be turning to new partners in the Middle East to help back his offer to acquire Warner Bros. Discovery in its entirety. Paramount Skydance has formed an investment consortium with the sovereign wealth funds of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi to submit a bid for Warner Bros. Discovery. The bid is being largely backed by the Ellison family and the 3 Arab countries: Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, that's the PIF, that's Turkey Al Sheikh and his team. He's a part of that team. The Qatar Investment Authority and the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority. Wow. Then you also have other Red Bird Capital. David Ellison put together a squad. Each of the Arab funds will put 7 billion apiece. That's a total of 21 billion. And then Paramount, Ellison says, we'll slap 50 on the table. That adds to 71 billion. Again, the number was 70 billion. So Ellison says, I see you 70 billion and I raise you 71 billion. Wow. So he upped this game. And see, this is the thing, and this is business, right? Ellison, he didn't want to bid against himself. That's why I think Paramount kept lowballing a lot of these offers. And then you heard about the Saudis putting up, they said they could put the whole 70 billion up if they needed to, but you kind of knew it wouldn't be allowed just for a 100% foreign country, to have 100% of this company, right? So they had to partner with someone. It looked like Comcast was going to be the move. But now you're seeing they're putting in this bid with Paramount. Again, these bids will be coming in November 20th. And then, interestingly, the Saudi Crown Prince is meeting with President Trump right now. like this is crazy. So he's at the White House right now The Saudis are that's the PIF team that includes Turkey Al Sheikh, trying to gain favor with Trump to get the foreign part of this, to get this deal put together and to get it pushed through. Man, I said Comcast co-CEO Brian Roberts traveled to Saudi Arabia late October to attend a conference hosted by the PIF. He was talking about the theme park destinations, scope out the area for a possible universal park in the area. But it is not known whether Roberts solicited investment backing from the Saudis for a Warner Brothers bid by Comcast. Now, and I said this on my podcast channel, that seemed like speculation, but it would make sense. If he's saying he has the money, he has to have some backing. But now it's in question. If the Saudis are all in with Paramount, that means maybe Comcast doesn't have the funding that they're saying they did. Now, under the scenario that Paramount wins this bid, the Saudi, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi funds would hold small minority stakes in Warner Bros. Discovery. Each of the three would get an IP, a movie premiere, and a movie shoot. Now, this is interesting. They get an IP. So the Saudis would get an IP, Qatar, Abu Dhabi. This is interesting. A movie premiere, a movie shoot. We'll have to see how this is broken down, because again, this is all coming out as we're speaking, right? All they care about is reputation and soft power, whatever that means. The Saudis do not have any incentive to join a prospective Comcast bid for Warner Brothers, excluding WBD's linear TV networks, because their understanding is that the Trump administration doesn't like Comcast CEO Brian Roberts at all. Oh my goodness. So Trump is really going to determine who's getting Warner Brothers. This is crazy, because with the Saudis, they could have easily put up the money to buy this themselves. And again, we knew that wasn't going to pass through where they get 100% of a American-based Warner Brothers, no matter how much they would try to spin it. But the idea of partnering seemed like the way to go. And it looked like Comcast had the inside lane with that. Now, I heard, like I said, I put this out there like a week ago. I heard Ellison was open to adding, Arab investors, the Saudis, to make a bid. Now it's public. He is including them. And it looks like they're choosing Paramount over Comcast because of Donald Trump. That's a bombshell. That's a bombshell right there. And just in my opinion, this definitely steers things closer to Paramount. The momentum is there, and that incentive of so the Saudis PIF, they would get an IP. This is interesting. We're going to get more of this. We're going to break this down more